I've been searching for a reason, but my reason's left me for good. Tell me, where do I go from here? 'Cause I find my situation always leaves me really in doubt. Tell me, where do I go from here? Tell me, where do I go from here?
Ah, Jim. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to move shortly, because the cleaner's coming.
Fine, fine.
Come on, Camilla, put your feet up. Oh, and you won't do the crossword, will you, Jim? Philip likes to do it before dinner.
I can't do the Telegraph crossword.
Oh, we only buy it for the crossword. We read The Guardian.
I only get it for the jobs. I read tidbits.
You're job hunting, are you? Which universities have you written to?
I haven't. I'm through with teaching. What did Oscar Wilde say? Everyone who's incapable of learning has taken to teaching.
Considering Philip is a Don, that's not the most tactful remark. Pick up Camilla's bear, would you do?
There you are. And don't do it again. You know, the trouble is I seem to be too old for almost everything. I'm 28. And by the standards of swinging London, that's practically decrepit. Apparently there's some scheme to introduce compulsory euthanasia to everyone over the age of 24. They're starting with Brian Poole and the Tremolos on Monday.
Well, at least you don't have stretch marks from 2 children. Yes, lunch is coming.
You look wonderful, Joanna.
I don't feel wonderful. I'd be working if I didn't have 2 children.
Oh, you've still got your pottery.
That's suffered, Jim.
Oh, that's tragic, with such a gift. See, what I'd like is something creative. Anything which offers fulfillment, a stimulus to the imagination, and mini-skirted secretaries.
I don't find glamour jobs in the Telegraph.
I know. That's why I'm after. Ambitious young salesman required for expanding Birmingham hydraulic hose manufacturer. I'm not sure whether he's expanding or the hose. Well, however, the position offers $1,500 a year and a Vauxhall Viva, right? Now, compare that with surgical appliance salesman wanted for the Cotswolds. Expenses, luncheon vouchers, and a firm's truss.
Meanwhile, you'll be staying here, will you, Jim?
Not if it's inconvenient.
Of course not.
Listen, Joanna, while I'm here, why don't I make myself useful, eh? Why don't you go upstairs, put your feet up, read the colour supplements?
Camilla needs her lunch.
Well, I'll do that.
Oh, the cleaner's coming.
Well, I'll let the cleaner in. Go and have a potter. It's the least I can do.
Well, I would rather like to make some phone calls.
Well, go ahead. Leave this to me.
Right, well, make sure it's not too hot so it doesn't burn her tongue.
Did I get a 3rd-class history degree for nothing? Now, listen, Camel. My position in this household is in some jeopardy. You see, what I have to do is ingratiate myself with you and your big brother, Toby. Yes. Listen, between you and me, I don't like Toby. Your mummy saw fit to send him to some free expression kindergarten in Hampstead. Open? You see, now that is why he constantly interrupts conversations, right? And tortures caterpillars. That'll be Mrs. Mop. Come in. Now, don't go away. No.
I'm Steve. The cleaner.
Oh, sorry, come in. That's, I was expecting someone older with a bucket and varicose veins.
Hello, Camilla. How's it going then? All right.
Now, you know where everything is?
Yeah, sure.
Good. Yours seems a strange sort of job for a chap. Come on.
Yeah, well, so does yours come to that, doesn't it?
No, well, I'm just helping out. House guest.
Yeah, well, this isn't a career. Just left drama school. Work for this agency. quite lots of blokes like me. Actors, art students.
Isn't it a bit menial?
It's the best temp job I've ever had. Oh, it beats the hell out of Paddington parcels or washing dishes in the Wimpy bar. Well, you usually get fed and there's the occasional perk.
Oh. What sort of perk?
Well, it's the sort that comes from meeting bored, repressed housewives.
I hope you don't mean my friend's wife.
Oh, no. No, not Joanna. No, but there are one or two. My particular highlight of the week is Friday afternoons at Frognall Walk. And afterwards, she always lays on a little light lunch, you know. Avocado pear, cold chicken, glass of chilled white wine.
You get paid for this?
4 and 6 an hour.
You know, it might suit me. I've got to be in London for the next couple of weeks for interviews and that sort of thing. A job like this might get me out the house and provide a little pocket money.
Well, I'll give you the agency's address.
I should think I'm qualified. I mean, I'm honest, reliable, careful about personal freshness, and I've got an arts degree. Is there anything else I'd need?
Yeah. Get your own pair of rubber gloves.
Day 1 for Dixon, the White Tornado. The address is very reassuring. Note the window boxes and coloured front doors, suggesting affluence, style, and, one hopes, repressed sexuality. This is the type of place where arms dealers and slum landlords install their teenage mistresses, or wealthy widows patronise struggling artistes. A red Aston Martin. One of them, it would seem, is at it, even as we speak. Here we are, the home of Mrs. Lambert. Or could it be Countess Lambert, the Comtesse de Lambert? Dixon's trained eye took in the evidence. Geraniums, a brass door knocker, and a lilac-coloured Riley. In his experience, these were the irrefutable signs of terminal nymphomania.
I was looking for Mrs. Lambert.
There is no Mrs. Lambert, dear. Nor ever likely to be.
You've been domestic.
That's right. I've been expecting you. Right, did they warn you there's lots of heavy work to be done? You're going to have to move the baby grand.
No, they didn't.
Still, you look quite strong.
See him?
Jim?
No.
Cheers. Jim Dixon.
Oh, what would Jim Dixon be doing up a ladder in the King's Road?
That's what I'd like to know. Is this what you ended up doing? Window cleaning?
I was working undercover, Lucy, and now you've blown it. At this moment, an international drug ring are making their escape in their mini-mokes towards Staines.
You don't have to cover up for me. Me uncle's a window cleaner.
Window cleaning's only part of what I do. Actually, I'm a domestic hygiene consultant.
Oh, a char.
Yes.
You said you were going to give me a ring.
How could I, Lucy? We're worlds apart. I'm a penniless academic, and you're a famous model whose face adorns the glossies.
If you weren't such a snob, I'd buy you lunch.
Would you?
Yeah.
I've got this to finish.
Don't worry. I'll square it with them. They won't mind the money I'll spend here.
Nice to see you again. Please, if you'd like to follow me, your table is waiting.
Listen, you know when you see a face and you think it might be someone famous?
Yeah?
I've just seen 6 of them.
It's quite possible. They all come to Alvaro's.
Oh. Am I, where it's at?
Certainly. Come on, what do you fancy?
Well, as you're paying, I was trying to strike a delicate balance between self-restraint and gluttony. Fettuccine and steak pizza.
Signora Simmons, come sta? Always. She is so beautiful.
Yes, I've noticed that.
This is Jim Dixon, Alvaro. It's his gaff, Jim.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice. I've not been here before.
No?
Well, I've been abroad.
He wants a fettuccine and, the steak, what's it with the sauce?
Pizzaiola.
Any veg, Jim?
I bring a selection. Wine?
We'll have some Rosso.
I bring a nice Barolo. And for you, Lucy, something. Eat.
Oh, I'll just have, Parma ham and melon.
Subito. Ah, Mr. Sharif. Come sta?
Is that who I think it is?
Of course it is. How many Sharifs do you know?
My God. I'm eating in the same restaurant as the Sharif of Nottingham. I have to verify this.
Hey, Jim, knock it off.
Well, I should be writing to my mother tonight, you see, and I want to tell her I've seen him in the flesh. You know, she saw Lawrence of Arabia so many times, she got sunstroke. You're right. There's no mistaking those liquid eyes. It's Dr. Zhivago himself. Why does he need 4 girls?
In case 3 of them break down. Hey! One of those girls just asked Omar if you're the Jim Dixon.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm not, and I never will be. I don't have the requisite capacity for self-promotion.
You know, you've got away with words. You're wasted up a ladder.
Signore?
Why don't you try advertising?
Advertising? What could I do?
Signore?
You could be a copywriter, write the ads and that. Or be an account exec.
Well, what do they do?
Oh, they have lunch a lot.
Well, I'm good at lunch, aren't I?
Not bad so far. I know lots of blokes in advertising. I could fix you up with an interview. You should smarten yourself up a bit, though. Have you ever thought of changing your hair?
Change me hair? Well, you can't change hair. It's stuck on.
Change a cut, you fool. You've still got a part in.
What? Does it show?
Sorry, I'm trying to help. Listen, let it grow. Then go to Vidal's, ask Alan McEwen. Say I sent you. Tell him to keep the length, but shape it and layer the sides.
Shape it and layer it.
Right.
At Vidal's. Sassoon, I assume.
Right, ask for Alan.
Whatever happened to short back and sides?
Stay nervously.
Well, it did me when I were a lad. Used to get it cut at Tommy Mossop's Coldwell Lane. Second on left past Rugby League ground. Yes. The floor was in green linoleum, covered in the hair that didn't go down the back of your neck. There were one long cracked mirror, a fly paper, and a shelf full of 7 o'clock razor blades and French letters. Biddell's, I should imagine, is done a little different.
Keep your voice down.
Why?
He's just come in with Mary Quant. Hey.
Well, there you are, Jim. Is Toby asleep yet?
I think so. Only after I promised to take him to the zoo. He's an interesting child, isn't he? I asked him which of the animals he wanted to see most, and he said the lobsters.
You know, I sometimes wonder if it was a good idea to send him to that school.
What are your plans tonight, Jim?
Just going to stay in and grow me hair.
Well, don't you want something to eat? There's a stuffed aubergine in the oven.
No, thanks. I had an enormous lunch. At Alvaro's.
Alvaro's?
Where's this?
Oh, you know, darling, it's that terribly expensive restaurant on the King's Road. It's so trendy, they have an ex-directory phone number. I mean, how pretentious can you get?
Well, it was awfully good.
Did you get the number?
Got a book of matches somewhere.
Is it all it's cracked up to be?
Well, I tell you, Philip, something happened there today which encapsulated precisely the values of the times we live in. 3 men came into the restaurant. One was tall and rather distinguished looking. Not a face I recognised. All the Italian waiters, on the other hand, practically genuflected. The reason? This was none other than ex-King Umberto of Italy.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He asks for a table. I'm sorry, we're fully booked, says Alvaro. What about that one there, he said, pointing to a table just 2 away from me. I'm sorry, Your Majesty, says Alvaro. That one is reserved for Sandy Shaw.
Who's Sandy Shaw?
You know, darling, she's that girl who sings pop songs without any shoes.
Oh, is she? Well, this charring job must pay quite well, Jim, if you're hobnobbing with ex-royalty.
Not really. I was taken there by my friend Lucy Simmons. She just took pity on a destitute domestic.
Don't you find that job a bit demeaning?
Well, I only took it so's I could pay you two something for bed and board. Or in the hope that I might find a rich housewife who was bored and take me to bed.
Is that what these chaps do?
Apparently. According to the bloke that does this place.
No, he does not.
No, he said Frognall. Very definitely Frognall.
Have you had any luck in that department?
None whatsoever. The only client who asked me again was a Mr. Lambert. I'm not going back there again.
Get that, would you, Philip?
If it's Mr. Lambert, I'm not in.
Gulliver 7923? Yes? Yes, he's here. May I say who's calling? Oh, hello, Miss Simmons. Yeah, we met last week. Philip. Philip Lassiter. Oh, very well, thank you. Saw you on the box last night, biting the top off a Cadbury's flake. You did it extremely well. It's funny us having just met, because we don't normally watch ITV.
Philip, isn't that for Jim?
What? Oh, yeah. Just a minute. Here he is.
Hello, Lucy.
That was Lucy Simmons, darling.
Yeah, I gathered that. You know, there'll be a William Hickey next.
Lucy, that's fantastic. Hang on. Greenwood, Matheson and Phipps. Where? Bruton Street. 3 p.m., yes. And ask for Terry Sheffield. Oh, look, I'm ever so grateful, Lucy. Guess what? I'll let you know. Yeah, and if I get the job, it's my shout next time. Arrivederci.
Well?
Lucy's got me an interview with an ad agency.
As a cleaner?
No. As a copywriter. Now then, what's my itinerary tomorrow? Let's see. Well, I've got Mrs. Allen, 12 till 2, St. John's Wood. That leaves me an hour to get cleaned up and over to Mayfair. Perfect.
But advertising's rather a glib and facile profession, isn't it, Jim? I mean, isn't it rather a waste of all your talents?
What talents? Don't have any talents. It's my problem.
Oh, you're being a bit hard on yourself. If I recall, you played a rather mean clarinet with the East Midlands University Memphis 7.
If there's ever a future in Dixieland jazz, Philip, Messrs. Lennon and McCartney put the mockers on that. You know, perhaps the only talent I do have is for convincing people I know what I'm talking about when I don't.
Yeah. You used to lecture in medieval history and you knew sod all about that.
Jim! Jim! Filthy.
Yes, well, that oven hadn't been cleaned for some time, Mrs. Allen. And then I had to unscrew the U-pipe under the waste disposal.
Oh. Well, is it broken?
Well, it was jammed. Because I dropped my rubber glove down it.
Well, I'm just popping out to the hairdresser's. Will you be here when I get back?
No, Mrs. Allen.
Do stop calling me Mrs. Allen. It's Veronica.
Well, I have to be somewhere, Miss Veronica. That's why I bought a change of clothing.
Oh, well, I thought we could have a drink, get to know each other better. I find you young men from the agencies so fascinating. You're all aspiring artists and actors, aren't you? What do you do, Jim?
Me? I play the clarinet.
A musician?
Yes. I was formerly with the Memphis 7.
Have I heard of them?
Perhaps not. They're now the Memphis 6.
Do you really have to rush off?
Do I really need a job in advertising? Wouldn't I be better off here enjoying an empty, meaningless relationship?
Well, it is somewhat vital, Veronica.
What a pity. Perhaps next time we could time things better.
Oh, definitely.
You'll do the bathroom then?
Yes.
Let yourself out.
Yes. Goodbye.
Au revoir.
Would you believe it? Oh, the bitter ironies of life. At last, the woman of a domestic's dreams. Oh, Jim, you fool. What a golden opportunity down the drain. Which I don't have time to clean. I'm better off cleaning myself.
You'll be a little lovelier each day with fabulous pink Clement.
We talk to Veronica Dixon, beautiful new star of The Spy with the Hairy Knees.
I always use Clement because it's so kind to my boil.
There, Jim. If that's copywriting, I'm a natural. South African. Still no point in boycotting one little bottle.
Again, I'll touch the green, green grass of home.
Mommy!
And I wake and look around me at the four grey walls that surround me.
Mummy, is that you?
And I realize, yes.
Who is that?
What, it's me. Jim Dixon from New Pink Domestic. I'm just finishing up in here. Come in. Oh, don't. Good afternoon.
Get away from me. What are you doing?
Please, don't be frightened.
Why are you undressed?
Well, I was cleaning the bath.
Drinking?
Well, I've only had one small sherry.
In the bath?
Well, you see, I've got this interview.
Drinking in the bath?
Yes, I'm hoping to get into advertising.
Drinking naked in Mummy's bath?
Oh, don't go on about it. Mummy wasn't in there with me.
Here is Mummy. What have you done with her?
She's out. Look, listen.
One more step and I'll scream!
Oh, for God's sake, girl! I'm Jim Dixon.
Jim, hi, I'm Terry.
Yes, sir. Lucy mentioned you.
Ah, she's a knockout bird. Lucy, how long have you known her?
Well, quite a while.
Sit down, sit down. Frank ought to be here. He's our creative director, but he's got some hassle on at the moment, so he asked me to make a start.
Right. Well, I'm sorry I'm a bit late, but
I had a few problems on the way here.
Would you like a glass of wine or anything?
No, I'm fine, fine.
Well, I don't think I'd better. I had rather too much at lunch.
Yeah. Oh, are you an account executive?
No, I'm a copywriter. The account executives don't get back from lunch till 4.
What copy are you writing at the moment?
We just won the Cameradi account. It's a new Italian aperitif. Tastes like piss. It's ludicrously overpriced, and there's no good reason why anybody should buy it or drink it, but that's no reason why we can't sell it.
No, indeed.
So, Jim, basically, what attracts you to this racket?
Well, Terry.
Don't be fooled by the casual attitude, and don't let him see you thinking on your feet.
Well, basically...
Excuse me. Hello? Hi, Gina. No, actually, I'm in a meeting at the moment. Well, I have to look. Hang on a moment.
This is the sort of thing I should have read before I got here. However, use standard exam technique. Find a good quote and drag it into the conversation at all costs.
Well, it's got to be here somewhere. I'll have to call you back. So long. Sorry about that. Now, where were we?
You asked me how I saw the role of modern marketing.
Oh, did I? What a good question. So, how do you see it? Basically.
Well, basically, what one has to constantly bear in mind is that advertising cannot perform in a vacuum.
Yes?
Yeah. It's, well, it's only a component of the machinery of marketing. Yes, it's only one function along with distribution and sales.
Yes?
Well, that's very evocative. And it's no use we in advertising operating without relating to these other functions. Otherwise...
Otherwise?
Oh. We become creatively self-indulgent and esoteric.
That's right. Right.
Yes, well, that's only a personal viewpoint,
yes,
of course.
Yes, but it's perfectly valid one. Look, let me be quite honest. You seem like the sort of bloke who'd fit in. I mean, you've got a degree, haven't you?
Yes, yes.
And we do have 1 or 2 vacancies at the moment. One of our copywriters has just left to manage the kinks. Of course, you have to see Frank, but basically he'll take my say-so on this one. If I were you, I'd just repeat exactly what you've told me. Frank's very hot on this conceptual theorizing stuff.
I only hope I can remember it.
Look, let's have a drink, shall we?
Fine, Terry, fine.
What have I got?
Well, there's this.
No, we're not that desperate.
God, Jim, I think we've cracked it. Can it be this easy? Now, don't put yourself down, Jim. No one deserves a break more than you do. After all, it's getting in that counts. Foot in the door. And once in, just watch me. Brilliant ad man Dixon captures Israeli bacon account.
Here we are. Sorry about the glasses.
L'chaim.
Sorry.
This is Jim Dixon.
Jim, I do apologize, but something rather terrible's happened.
Did the Trat run out of Armagnac?
No, it's worse than that. My daughter Sean's just called from the flat. There's been some madman there running around drunk and stark naked.
Is she all right? I mean, he didn't...
Oh, no, but it's been a terrible shock for her. So I told her to jump in a cab and come straight round here. I rang Veronica at the hairdresser's, and she says it must be the new Char. Apparently she found his behaviour rather suggestive. But this isn't your problem, Jim. Has Terry put you in the picture about our setup here? Oh, do sit down. Where are you going?
Well, it's useless to explain.
What's that all about?
Hello? Your daughter's here, Frank.